The definition of wealth has changed. It's no longer about being lavish, but about time freedom. It's no longer about having the corner office with a chauffeur driving you around, but I think the best way to describe it is it's a form of quiet luxury. Not what you can see from miles away, but it's in the little things, the subtle signs of wealth. For example, I love what Ramit Sethi says. He explains like 4 subtle signs of wealth, which I think are really good. So one of them is having a bag for every occasion. So imagine if you are rich and wealthy, you've got a bag for the weekend, you've got a bag for going grocery shopping, you've got a bag for going out, you've got a bag for work, and these bags are generally expensive. We're not talking about a bag that's $100. These are generally in the thousands of dollars. So that is one subtle sign of wealth. The second one is to have the time and money to stay physically active and fit. And this is really important because imagine if you have to go to the gym, you have to take out time that you would need. For example, if you're going early in the morning or if you're going at lunch. Sometimes if you're working at 9 to 5 at an office, it's hard to get away to go to the gym. So you have to have that financial freedom where you have the time to be able to do these things. And it also requires money. A gym membership is not cheap nowadays, usually $200 to $300 a month depending on what gym you're at, and some of them are even more than that. And then there's also, what if you want to go for extra classes or you want a personal trainer? That's money on top as well. So that's another sign of wealth. Another one is having really good hand soap. So again, not something you'll notice right away, but if you go to their homes, you might see that $50 hand soap such as Aesop. And then the last one is having custom furniture. Now this one was really interesting because imagine having custom furniture that costs thousands and thousands of dollars to order, and then you have to wait months and months for it to arrive. And during that time, you're probably staying at another place. Maybe it's a furnished accommodation or a hotel for your furniture to arrive. Now that is just some next level signs of wealth. And if we think about what all of these have in common, is it's time. Except for maybe the soap, maybe that's not necessarily time related, but all of the others have an element of time. Whether it's time to take advantage of those bags, whether it's time to stay physically fit, or whether it's time to wait for that furniture to arrive. And if you're enjoying learning about all the subtle signs of wealth, then please like this video, subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out and I really appreciate it. And then when we think about some of the richest people today, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, a lot of what they do is think. They're not caught up in a job where they're working 9 to 5, putting reports together, going to meetings, but they're actually spending a lot of their time thinking. They think about their life, they think about the things that they want to work on, and they think about making those big decisions that are going to have the biggest impact because they have that mental bandwidth to do so. For example, Jeff Bezos, he spends a lot of his mornings working on making big decisions, and then he's usually done for the day. He'll spend the first few hours when he's got that mental bandwidth, when he doesn't have other stresses from the day coming at him, and he really gets to make those big decisions that are going to have the biggest impact on his life and his company. And thinking about this and applying it to my life, now I'm not saying I'm going to be thinking all day, which would be really nice, but it's thinking about what are the big decisions that I can make that are going to have the biggest impact on my life and allow me to live a life that's richer, that I feel more wealthy, that has those signs, those subtle signs of wealth. And I'm going to come back to Ramit Sethi because he really nails this so well. And some of the things that he brought up that I think really resonate was having your bills on autopilot. So imagine you get a bill for your internet, your utilities, your cell phone bill, your credit card bill, and you have it set up that as soon as that bill comes in, it's automatically paid. You're not worried about, okay, I've got to make sure I've got enough money in my bank account before making it, but you know that those bills are covered. The second one is having your investments on autopilot. Now this is so important, one, because that's the first step if you want to really build financial wealth. And second of all, it's knowing that you have enough money coming in that if you set aside 10%, 15%, whatever it is, and it goes directly into investments right away, you're not worried that, oh no, now I might not have enough to pay the rest of my bills. But because your bills are on autopilot, because you've got enough cash coming in, your investments are on autopilot, again, because you've got enough money coming in, or you've already pre-budgeted those amounts. Another one is not freaking out about parking tickets. Now hear me out on this. I've actually noticed this about myself recently, where if I'm going out and I'll be trying to park my car and I'll see the sign, I'll do my due diligence, not like I'm just parking anywhere, and I'll check, okay, it says free parking this time to this time, but sometimes there's no sign and you're not sure where to park. And what I've done is I'll actually park where I think it's actually a parking spot, whether it's other people are parking there or there's a parking sign and it it doesn't, but there's not a clear sign that it's free parking at that time, I'll still park there, knowing that there is the risk that I might get a parking ticket, though very little because I have done my due diligence. But I'm okay. Like, worst case scenario, let's say I end up getting a parking ticket, it's gonna be like $100, but I'm not stressing out in that moment, and I'm also not worried about if I end up getting that bill that it's gonna ruin my day. It's something I'm willing to accept. Now, versus if I weren't feeling wealthy, if I was more concerned about getting a parking ticket, I might spend maybe 15-20 minutes trying to find a parking spot, making sure it's an actual parking spot, and making sure that I can park there during that time, and making sure I pay for it, to make the chances of me getting a parking ticket go down to 0. So again, that's something that I've been doing lately, and so far I haven't gotten a single parking ticket, so knock on wood it stays that way. But again, that 2 or 3 minutes of due diligence has been paying off. And the last one that I really liked what Ramit Sethi says is buying groceries that you really want without having to worry too much about, you know, how much they cost or what they are. So like when I'm going down the grocery aisle, I see organic farm-raised eggs, I'm like, okay, that's the eggs I want. Lately we've been getting A2 milk, which is a little bit more expensive, but we've actually found it's really good for our digestion, because I'm slightly lactose intolerant, so regular milk isn't the best for me, and this one I can drink so easily, so it's worth every dollar. And they have the best chocolate milk. I'll actually show a picture of it and leave a link in the description below so that you can get it too if you really want. And another part about groceries that I've been really enjoying is actually getting bread from the bakery, and it is fairly expensive compared to what you could get at the grocery store, but this fresh sourdough that we get from the local bakery, it's just so good. So that's all I have for today on subtle signs of wealth and time freedom. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments below. Again, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It really helps. I really appreciate it, and I will see you on the next video.